Why do some R&B singers with massive hits just disappear? It's not always by choice. The industry has a dark side, a blacklist, for artists who step out of line. We're about to expose 20 stars who were shut out, including one who lost everything over a 2-second incident seen by millions. The truth is shocking. 1. Janet Jackson. You see, there is no bigger name in pop and R&B history than Janet Jackson. She's a global icon, a legend who gave us hits like Rhythm Nation, All For You, and That's the Way Love Goes. She was, to put it mildly, untouchable. That is, until one night in 2004. It was the Super Bowl halftime show. Over 140 million people were watching. During a performance with Justin Timberlake, a wardrobe malfunction happened. For less than 2 seconds, Janet was exposed on live television. The backlash was immediate and massive. But here's the kicker. The industry didn't just get mad, it blacklisted her. The CEO of Viacom, which owned MTV and VH1, reportedly ordered all of Janet's music and videos to be pulled from their networks. Globally, radio stations owned by Clear Channel did the same. Her new album, Damita Jo, was set to be a huge hit, but with no radio or video play, it stalled. The thing nobody tells you is that Justin Timberlake, who was also involved, faced almost no backlash. His career skyrocketed. Janet, a music legend, took all the blame, and her career was derailed for years. Janet was a superstar punished for an accident, but the next artist on our list faced a complete industry shutdown over dark accusations that had been whispered for years. 2. R. Kelly. For decades, R. Kelly was one of the biggest hitmakers in R&B. His songs like I Believe I Can Fly and Ignition, Remix, were everywhere. He wrote and produced hits for countless other stars. He was a musical giant, and it seemed like nothing could stop him. All the while, dark whispers followed him. There were stories, accusations, and legal troubles. For a long time, the music industry looked the other way. Why? Because he was making them millions of dollars. He was a cash cow, and as long as the hits kept coming, the machine kept rolling. But that all changed. A powerful documentary series called Surviving R. Kelly aired in 2019, and it laid bare the mountains of terrible accusations against him. The public outcry was so loud that the industry could no longer ignore it. His longtime label, RCA Sony, finally dropped him. Streaming services like Spotify and Apple Music muted him, removing his songs from their popular playlists. Radio stations banned his music. He was found guilty of his terrible acts and is now in prison. His entire legacy was erased, a total blacklist after decades of being protected. R. Kelly's fall came from his own horrible actions. But what if an artist is blacklisted for something as simple as a rumor, a feud with the biggest star on the planet? 3. Carrie Hilson. In the late 2000s, Carrie Hilson was on top of the world. She was a super talented songwriter who had written hits for artists like Britney Spears and Mary J. Blige. Then she stepped into the spotlight herself with massive songs like Knock You Down and Pretty Girl Rock. She was beautiful, talented, and had everything going for her. Then the rumors started. It all began with a remix of her song Turnin' Me On. Fans believed a few of her lines were a direct shot at another superstar, Beyoncé. Carrie denied it, but the damage was done. The Bayhive, Beyoncé's powerful fan base, came for her. They flooded her social media, her videos, and every public appearance with hate. What many overlooked is that this wasn't just online drama. It had real-world effects. Radio stations reportedly became hesitant to play her music. Her second album, No Boys Allowed, didn't do nearly as well as her first. And her third album? It never came. It's been over a decade, and she hasn't released a major studio album. Carrie has openly talked about the toll this took on her, leading to a deep personal struggle that forced her to step away from the spotlight. Carrie was shut out by fan power, but our next artist was shut out by the labels themselves, all because her image was just too much for them to handle. 4. Adina Howard. Back in 1995, Adina Howard exploded onto the scene with her #1 hit, Freak Like Me. The song was a massive success, but it was also very, very bold. Adina was not afraid to be provocative and open about her desires. She was, in many ways, ahead of her time. Her label, Elektra Records, loved the money from her first album, but when it came time for her second, they got nervous. Her image was too bold, too out there for the buttoned-up executives of the mid-90s. They started to clash with her over her creative vision. This is where the story gets crazy. Her second album, Welcome to Fantasy Island, was completely finished in 1997. It was ready to go, but at the last minute, the label got cold feet and shelved it. They locked it in a vault and refused to release it. This was a career-ending move. All her momentum from Freak Like Me was gone. The album, which fans were desperate to hear, wasn't officially released for over 15 years, long after her moment in the spotlight had passed. Adina was too bold for her label. But what if you have the hits and your label just forgets about you? 5. Ameri. Remember Ameri? Her 2005 hit, One Thing, was an absolute smash. That thundering beat and her unique voice were everywhere. She had other hits too, like Why Don't We Fall in Love? She was a critical darling and a fan favorite. So where did she go? The answer is a classic music industry trap, label drama. Ameri was signed to Columbia Records, and she had a very specific creative vision. The problem was, the label didn't always agree with it. She fought for her sound, but the label fought back. The thing nobody tells you is how a label can quietly blacklist an artist. They stop promoting them. They delay their albums. They cut the budget for music videos. This is exactly what happened to her. Her 2007 album, Because I Love It, was a critical success, but it wasn't even released in the United States for 2 years. She eventually left the label, but by then she had lost precious time. She was an artist full of talent who was stuck in a system that didn't know what to do with her. Ameri's career stalled because of label fights. The next artist had a huge hit, but her label completely fell apart right when she needed them most. 6. Sunshine Anderson. In 2001, you couldn't turn on the radio without hearing Heard It All Before. It was the ultimate breakup anthem, and it made Sunshine Anderson a star. Her debut album, Your Woman, went gold. She was managed by Macy Gray and signed to a major label. She was set, but then disaster struck. Her label, Atlantic Records, went through a massive merger. In the chaos, new bosses came in and old artists were forgotten. Sunshine was one of them. She was busy working on her second album, but the people who had signed her and believed in her were suddenly gone. The new team didn't care about her. They had their own artists to push. Her second album, Sunshine at Midnight, was delayed for 6 years. By the time it finally came out in 2007, the R&B landscape had completely changed. The momentum from her massive hit was ancient history. It's a heartbreaking story of being in the wrong place at the wrong time. Her career was a victim of a corporate spreadsheet, and she never got a fair second chance. Label mergers are a quiet way to end a career, but the next artist's struggles were very public, and her career was put on ice after she spoke out. 7. Tamar Braxton. Tamar Braxton, the youngest sister of the famous Braxton family, had a long road to solo stardom. After years of trying, she finally broke through in 2013 with her hit album, Love and War. The song of the same name was a massive R&B hit, and she earned 3 Grammy nominations. She was also a breakout star on the reality show Braxton Family Values, and a host on the talk show The Real. But Tamar's career has been full of public ups and downs. She's had very public disputes with managers, labels, and television networks. She was famously fired from The Real in 2016, which she said left her feeling blindsided. In 2020, she spoke out about her deep personal battles with the pressures of reality TV and the industry. After a scary personal incident, she asked to be released from her TV contract, saying she was being underpaid and overworked. While she was praised for speaking up, it also made her a risky bet for big networks and labels. She was seen as difficult. Her music releases stalled, and her TV presence shrank. She was an artist who broke the rules by showing her struggles, and the industry quietly stepped back. Tamar was seen as difficult for speaking her mind. Our next artist was blacklisted for a single 10-minute performance that divided the entire country 8. Chrisette Michel has one of the most incredible voices in R&B. She won a Grammy for her song Be Okay and had major hits like Epiphany and a couple of forevers. She was a respected and beloved figure in the soul music community. Then, in January 2017, she made a decision that ended her career overnight. She agreed to perform at the presidential inauguration of Donald Trump. The backlash was instant and brutal. To put it mildly, her community felt betrayed. Legendary director Spike Lee publicly announced he would not use her song in his upcoming Netflix series. Radio stations dropped her music from their playlists. Fans boycotted her shows, and many were canceled due to low ticket sales. Her label, Caroline Capitol Records, dropped her. She later revealed that she struggled with deep sadness and personal loss as her entire career vanished in the blink of an eye. She became a pariah, blacklisted not by executives in a boardroom, but by the public itself. A single performance erased her career. But for the next artist, the blacklisting happened for a much more personal reason. She decided to start a family. 9. Lil Mo. In the early 2000s, Lil Mo was the voice on all the biggest hits. She was the fiery, powerful singer on tracks like Superwoman Pete 2 and Ja Rule's Put It On Me. Her own album, based on a true story, was a hit. She was a key player in the hip-hop soul sound. Then she got pregnant. In the music industry, especially back then, this was often seen as a problem by labels. They want their artists, especially female artists, on the road and in the studio 24/7. A pregnancy was seen as an inconvenience. Lil Mo has been very open about this. She said that when she told her label, Elektra, the news, everything changed. The promotion for her album seemed to dry up. Her projects were put on the back burner. She felt completely neglected. Her second album, Meet the Girl Next Door, had the hit song Forever, but the label support still felt weak. She was eventually released from her contract. It felt like she was being punished for choosing to have a family, a story that is all too common for women in the industry. Lil Mo was sidelined for personal reasons. Our next 3 artists were blacklisted for a far more sinister reason. They dared to speak up about justice. 10. Lena Horne. Long before the R&B, we know today there was Lena Horne. She was a trailblazing singer and actress in the 1940s and 50s. She was one of the first black women to get a long-term contract with a major Hollywood studio, MGM. She was stunningly beautiful and had a voice like velvet. But Lena was also a passionate activist for civil rights. She refused to play the demeaning roles that studios offered black actors. She entertained black soldiers during World War II, and this activism made powerful people very angry. In the 1950s, a dark cloud fell over America, the Red Scare, led by Senator Joseph McCarthy. A pamphlet called Red Channels was published, listing artists who were accused of having communist ties. Lena Horne was on that list, simply because of her civil rights work. The result? She was blacklisted. MGM let her contract expire. She couldn't get work in movies, on radio, or on television for 7 years. She was forced to reinvent herself as a nightclub singer to survive, all because she dared to stand up for her people. Lena was a legend targeted by the government. The next star faced the exact same thing, and it cost her a promising television career. 11. Hazel Scott. Hazel Scott was a true prodigy. Born in Trinidad, she was a piano genius by the age of 3. By the 1940s, she was a massive star, a brilliant jazz and classical musician who also starred in movies and had her own radio show. She was a household name. In 1950, she became the first black woman in history to host her own television show, The Hazel Scott Show. This was a groundbreaking moment, but like Lena Horne, Hazel was a powerful voice for civil rights. She refused to perform in segregated venues and was openly critical of the government's mistreatment of black citizens. And just like Lena, her name appeared in red channels. She was accused of being a communist sympathizer. The network that aired her show, Dumont, was flooded with calls. Sponsors threatened to pull their money. Just a few months after her historic show began, it was canceled. Her career in America was shattered. She had to move to Paris to find work, effectively blacklisted from the country she had conquered. Hazel Scott's TV show was canceled for her activism. But our next legend was targeted by the government for one specific, powerful, and terrifying song. 12. Billie Holiday. Billie Holiday, known as Lady Day, is one of the most important and influential singers who ever lived. Her voice was full of emotion and pain, and it changed music forever. In 1939, she began singing a song that would define her career and in many ways lead to her downfall. The song was Strange Fruit. It was a horrifying, graphic protest song about the lynchings of black men in the American South. The strange fruit hanging from the trees was a human body. This song was beyond controversial. It was dangerous. Radio stations banned it. Her own record label, Columbia, refused to let her record it. But the real trouble came from the government. The head of the Federal Bureau of Narcotics, Harry Anslinger, reportedly despised the song and the message it sent. He ordered his men to target Billie. They used her personal struggles with harmful substances as a weapon against her. They hounded her, arrested her, and did everything they longed to silence her. They didn't just want to stop her, they wanted to destroy her. Billie was punished for a song. But sometimes the industry doesn't even need a strong reason. Just a quiet rumor. 13. Tevin Campbell. In the early 90s, Tevin Campbell was poised to be the next Michael Jackson. He was discovered by the legendary Quincy Jones. He had a 5-octave vocal range and a string of massive hits like Can We Talk and I'm Ready. He was a teenage superstar. Then, by the late 90s, he just disappeared. His music stopped. For years, fans had no idea what happened. The truth is, his career was derailed by label conflicts and cruelly by rumors about his personal life. Whispers about his orientation began to circulate in an era that was far less accepting. The thing nobody tells you is that in the image-obsessed world of 90s R&B, this was seen as a problem by executives. His label, Quest Records, seemed to lose interest in him. Promotion dried up, and his album started to underperform. He was also arrested in 1999 for soliciting an undercover police officer. That incident, combined with the rumors, was enough for the industry to quietly turn its back on one of the most talented singers of his generation. Tevin's talent was overshadowed by rumors. The next artist had all the talent, but her label just didn't know what to do with her. 14. Tinashe. Tinashe is a modern multi-talented threat. She can sing, dance, write, and produce. She burst onto the scene in 2014 with her hit song 2 On. Her debut album, Aquarius, was a critical and commercial success. She was signed to a major label, RCA, and was being called the next big thing. But then, her career hit a wall. She was stuck in what fans call label purgatory. She finished her second album, Joyride, but the label refused to release it. They kept delaying it, trying to force her to make more pop hits instead of the creative R&B she loved. They didn't seem to understand her vision. She was forced to release mixtapes for free just to get her music to her fans. It took 4 years of fighting, begging, and public frustration before her album Joyride was finally released. By then, the buzz was gone. It was a classic case of a label signing a creative artist and then trying to change everything about her. She eventually left RCA and went independent, but she lost years of her prime, effectively blacklisted by her own team. Tinashe was held back by her own label, but our next artist was trapped by her association with one of the most powerful men in music. Here is the expanded 2,000-word text, maintaining the exact same tone and structure. 15. Cassie Ventura. In 2006, the song Me and You was absolutely inescapable. It was more than just a song, it was an atmosphere. That minimalist, hypnotic beat and Cassie Ventura's cool, breathy vocals defined the entire summer. It was a cool, sophisticated, and minimalist R&B track that immediately launched her career into the stratosphere. She wasn't just a singer, she was a model, a fashion icon, and the definition of the it girl. She was quickly signed to Bad Boy Records, the legendary label run by one of the most powerful men in music, Sean P. Diddy Combs. And that, it seems, was the very core of the problem. After a debut hit that massive, the world was waiting for the follow-up. And they waited and waited. For years, her music career just stalled. It was one of the most baffling mysteries in pop music. Her second album was announced, given a title, and then delayed. Then it was delayed again and again. It became a running joke in the music industry, a ghost ship of an album that was perpetually coming soon. Eventually, that entire project was unceremoniously scrapped and quietly turned into a free mixtape, a release strategy that felt like a massive demotion for an artist who had started so strong. What happened? For years, Cassie was known more for being on the arm of her powerful boss, appearing at parties and on red carpets, than for her actual music. Fans have long believed she was blacklisted by association, trapped in a golden cage. Her career seemed to be completely controlled, not by a team of creatives, but by one man. She wasn't allowed to grow. She wasn't allowed to evolve. She wasn't allowed to release music. It felt to many like she was being kept as a face for the brand, a beautiful accessory, but not as a serious artist. There was a staggering 10-year gap between her first official album and her second independent project. A full decade. In the world of pop music, that is an eternity. All that potential, all that talent, all that initial momentum was kept on a shelf. It was a story of professional neglect that in recent years has become infinitely darker, reframing her stalled career as something far more sinister than just bad label management. Cassie's career was stuck, a prisoner of her own contract. The next artist had the opposite problem. Her label desperately wanted her to follow up, but only if she agreed to change every single thing about herself. 16. Deborah Cox. Deborah Cox has a voice that can shake the mountains. We are talking about a true world-class vocalist, a powerhouse in the same league as her peers, Whitney Houston and Celine Dion. In the 90s, she was a dominant force in R&B. She gave us the timeless, earth-shattering ballad, Nobody's Supposed to Be Here, a song that was so massive it spent a then record-breaking 14 weeks at #1 on the R&B chart. She wasn't just a balladeer either. She had huge, pulsating dance hits that dominated the clubs. She was the total package, glamour, class, and vocals for days. But as the 90s, the era of the grand diva, turned into the 2000s, the sound of R&B changed. The bling era was in full effect. It became less about big, soaring ballads and more about gritty hip-hop collaborations. The sound was crunk and B. The radio wanted a hard beat and a rapper in the middle eight. Her label, Arista, the same label that had built its reputation on mega vocalists, started to get nervous. They began to pressure her heavily to change her sound. What many overlooked is that Deborah was a true classic vocalist, but the label wanted her to be something she wasn't. They didn't know what to do with an adult contemporary voice in a get-low world. They wanted her to fit into the new hip-hop soul box, to collaborate with the hot new producers, to dial back the vocals and dial up the swag. When her 2002 album, The Morning After, was released, it was a fantastic R&B album. But it didn't produce the massive crossover pop hit the label demanded. And just like that, the label's support evaporated. They stopped promoting her as a main priority. They pulled the plug on budgets. They essentially blacklisted her from the top-tier R&B world, pushing her aside to make room for younger, more urban acts. She was punished for having a classic, powerful voice when the trends had moved on. She was too refined, too polished, too good for the new sound of R&B. She was forced to find a new home on independent labels, a place where she could sing her heart out, but without the massive promotional machine that had made her a star. Deborah's sophisticated steel was no longer in. The next artist, however, had the perfect cutting-edge sound, but her label completely fell apart around her, leaving her to fight a deep and personal battle all alone. 17. Tweet. In 2002, Tweet's song Oops Oh My was a quirky, brilliant, and absolutely massive hit. Produced by the untouchable Timbaland and featuring a legendary verse from Missy Elliott, it sounded like nothing else on the radio. That acoustic guitar, that strange yet addictive hook, it was the future of soul music. Her debut album, Southern Hummingbird, was a gigantic critical and commercial success, praised by everyone for its raw, honest, and deeply soulful sound. She wasn't just singing songs. She was baring her soul, talking about insecurity, desire, and self-love in a way that was revolutionary for its time. She was poised to be the next neo-soul superstar. But Tweet, whose real name is Charlene Keys, was struggling. Behind the massive success, the hit videos, and the sold-out shows, she was fighting a silent, crushing battle. She has spoken openly in the years since about her struggles with deep sadness and clinical depression, even during the absolute height of her success. She was in a dark place, feeling lost and overwhelmed by the very fame she had worked so hard to achieve. It was at this exact moment, when she was at her most vulnerable, that the industry machine collapsed around her. When it came time for her second album, the industry she knew had vanished. Her label, Elektra, went through that same massive, chaotic merger that hurt so many artists like Sunshine Anderson. The entire company was gutted. The executives who had signed her, who loved her music, and who understood her unique vision, were all fired. The new bosses who took over didn't know her, and they didn't understand her music. Her second album, It's Me Again, was released in 2006 with virtually zero promotion. There was no budget for music videos, no radio campaign, no press tour. It was DOA, dead on arrival. With her label in complete chaos and her personal struggles growing. Deeper, she was unceremoniously released from her contract. She disappeared from the industry for almost a full decade, a major, undeniable talent who was dropped by the system when she needed its support the most. Tweet was dropped during a devastating personal crisis. Our next artist, by contrast, was an untouchable superstar who was dragged down by her label's own massive and very public legal problems. 18. Ashanti. In 2002, Ashanti was the biggest star in music. Her dominance was impossible to overstate. She was the princess of hip-hop and R&B, with a monster debut album giving us Foolish and Happy. She was also the secret weapon on everyone else's hits, like Ja Rule's Always on Time and Fat Joe's What's Love. Ashanti became the first female artist to hold the top 2 spots on the Billboard Hot 100 simultaneously. She was a Grammy-winning global superstar. She was signed to Murder Inc., run by Irv Gotti. In the early 2000s, Murder Inc. was the hottest and most dangerous label in the world. This was her downfall. In 2003, at her peak, the federal government launched a massive investigation into the label, believing it was a front for illegal activities. The offices were raided, assets were frozen, and the company was thrown into chaos, fighting for survival against the U.S. government. Ashanti was the label's crown jewel, but she was caught in the crossfire. She had nothing to do with the crimes, but it didn't matter. She was radioactive by association. Albums were delayed and promotion budgets vanished. Radio stations grew wary of the Murder Inc. name. Her 2004 album, Concrete Rose, sold 250,000 copies in its first week, but with no label support, it fell off the charts. She was collateral damage in a war she never asked to be a part of, and her A-list career never fully recovered. Ashanti was collateral damage. Our next artist, however, seemed to cause all of his own career problems with some very strange and very dark behavior. 19. Jaheim. Jaheim was the voice of the streets in the early 2000s, with a gritty, powerful, old-school soul voice. He wasn't a smooth boy band singer. His music was for grown folks, giving us massive hits like Could It Be and Put That Woman First. He was a consistent platinum-selling artist, often compared to icons like Teddy Pendergrass and Luther Vandross, a true cornerstone of 2000s R&B. But as the years went on, his career took a strange, public turn. His music releases slowed, and the conversation shifted to his persona. He posted bizarre videos looking almost unrecognizable, sparking fan concern and social media mockery. The powerful vocalist was replaced by a confusing figure. The final blow came in 2021 when Jaheim was arrested for animal cruelty. It was a house of horrors. Authorities found over a dozen dogs living in squalor, and the shocking details horrified the public. After the news broke, his career went silent. This wasn't a label dispute. It was a blacklisting by the public itself. No one wanted to be associated with him. He was blacklisted by his own indefensible actions, a sad and unsettling end to a once promising career. Jaheim's public fall was a shocking and sad story. Our final artist, however, just wanted to make music, but found himself in a constant, soul-crushing battle with the very people who were supposed to be helping him. 20. Lloyd was one of the most consistent R&B hitmakers of the 2000s. After starting in the group N-Tune, his solo career exploded. He was a reliable source of smooth, radio-friendly R&B, giving us Southside featuring Ashanti, You featuring Lil Wayne, and the club hit Get It Shawty. He had the voice, the looks, and the signature long hair, making him a core part of the R&B scene. But behind the scenes, his career was an exhausting struggle with his labels. He was first signed to the Inc. Records, formerly Murder Inc. Lloyd was trapped on that sinking ship, watching his career stall during the federal investigation. He had to beg and fight to be released. He moved to another label, but the problems continued. His 2011 album, King of Hearts, was delayed, underpromoted, and completely mishandled. The constant, non-stop fight wore him down. He was tired of the politics and broken promises. Frustrated and disillusioned, he did something drastic. He cut off his signature long hair, a symbolic act of defiance. He stepped away from the spotlight entirely to go back to high school and get his GED. He effectively blacklisted himself because he was so tired of the game, choosing his education and sanity over fame. He eventually returned to music, but this time on his own terms, as an independent artist, finally in control. Did you know that some of the biggest R&B stars vanished from the industry overnight? One moment they were topping the charts, then suddenly gone. From R. Kelly, whose downfall came after shocking legal troubles, to Tevin Campbell, who faded away despite his incredible voice, these R&B stars proved that success doesn't always guarantee a lasting career. Here are 20 R&B stars the industry banned, and you'll never see them again. Number 1. R. Kelly. R. Kelly was once considered the undisputed king of R&B, dominating the music industry for decades with hits like I Believe I Can Fly, Bump and Grind, and Ignition Remix. He sold millions of records, won multiple awards, and influenced an entire generation of artists. However, behind his success, dark allegations followed him for years. Rumors of inappropriate relationships and abuse surfaced as early as the 1990s, but his fame shielded him. He even went on trial in 2008 for child pornography charges, but was acquitted. For years, he continued making music, touring, and working with major artists. However, in 2019, everything changed. The release of the documentary Surviving R. Kelly exposed disturbing accusations from multiple women, leading to public outrage. The industry quickly distanced itself. Radio stations stopped playing his songs, record labels severed ties, and streaming services like Spotify and Apple Music quietly removed his music from playlists. Fans organized protests, demanding venues cancel his concerts. Soon after, he was arrested and charged with multiple counts of abuse, trafficking, and racketeering. By 2022, Kelly was convicted and sentenced to decades in prison. His career was wiped out, and his name became synonymous with scandal. While some of his music remains available online, it no longer holds the power it once did. His fall from grace is one of the most shocking in music history. Number 2. Tevin Campbell. Tevin Campbell was once one of the biggest rising stars in R&B. With his smooth vocals and boyish charm, he took the music world by storm in the early 1990s. Hits like Can We Talk and I'm Ready made him a household name, and many believed he was destined to be one of the greats. However, as the late 90s approached, the music industry began shifting. R&B was becoming more hip-hop influenced, and Campbell's style no longer fit the mainstream. Record labels started focusing on edgier, more urban sounds, leaving behind artists with a softer, more traditional R&B approach. At the same time, rumors about Campbell's personal life began circulating. In an industry that often pressured artists to maintain a certain image, speculation about his gender led to industry whispers that may have impacted his career opportunities. While he never publicly addressed the rumors early on, the stigma surrounding LGBTQ+ artists in that era could have contributed to his fading presence in the industry. In later years, Campbell spoke about feeling pushed aside, acknowledging that the industry had changed and that he struggled to adapt. Despite this, he remained respected in the R&B world, with many artists citing him as an influence. In 2022, he officially came out as gay, sharing that he had finally found peace after years of industry pressure. While his mainstream career never fully rebounded, Campbell remains a legend to those who appreciate true R&B vocals and talent. Next R&B star on our list. Number 3. Tinashe. Tinashe burst onto the music scene with undeniable talent, blending R&B, pop, and electronic sounds into a style uniquely her own. Her breakout single 2 On became a major hit in 2014, and she quickly gained a reputation as an artist to watch. However, behind the scenes, her relationship with RCA Records was far from smooth. As Tinashe's career progressed, she expressed frustration over the label's handling of her music. She wanted creative control, but RCA reportedly pushed her toward more mainstream, radio-friendly songs. This creative struggle led to long delays between projects and a lack of proper promotion. Her highly anticipated album Joyride was particularly affected, suffering multiple pushbacks before finally being released in 2018 with little industry support. By 2019, Tinashe had parted ways with RCA. While she framed the split as a positive move for her independence, it was clear that leaving a major label made it harder to stay in the spotlight. Without the backing of a powerhouse like RCA, she faced challenges in getting the same level of exposure, airplay, and playlist placements. Despite these obstacles, Tinashe continued to release music independently, proving her dedication to her artistry. Her later projects, like Songs for You and 333, received critical acclaim, though mainstream success remained elusive. While she may no longer dominate the charts, she has built a loyal fan base and remains a respected figure in the R&B and alternative music scenes. Number 4. Cassie Ventura. Cassie Ventura started R&B in 2006 with her hit Single Me and You, a sultry, minimalist track that dominated the charts. The song, produced by Ryan Leslie, made her an overnight sensation and secured her a deal with Bad Boy Records, owned by Sean Diddy Combs. However, despite her promising start, Cassie's music career never fully took off. Many believe her relationship with Diddy played a major role in this. While she remained under his label for years, her music releases became infrequent, and her sophomore album never saw the light of day. Some fans speculated that her industry connections, rather than helping her, actually held her back. Diddy was known for keeping a tight grip on his artists, and many wondered if Cassie was being sidelined intentionally. Throughout the years, Cassie released a handful of singles and collaborations, but none achieved the same level of success as Me and You. Despite her undeniable talent, she was often seen more in the role of Diddy's girlfriend rather than as a serious artist. After their split in 2018, Cassie moved on with her life, focusing on modeling, acting, and personal ventures. By the time she gained full creative freedom, the music industry had already shifted. Though she remains a respected name in R&B, Cassie's career is often viewed as one of the biggest what-ifs in the industry. Up next was once known for his hits like Knock You Down and Pretty Girl Rock. No other person but. Number 5. Carrie Hilson. Carrie Hilson was once a rising star in the R&B world, known for hits like Knock You Down and Pretty Girl Rock. However, her music career seemingly vanished overnight, and many believe industry politics played a huge role in her downfall. One of the biggest rumors surrounding Hilson's disappearance is her alleged feud with Beyoncé. In 2009, a remix of her song Turnin' Me On featured lyrics that many interpreted as a dig at Beyoncé and Ciara. The line, "She can sing but she need to move it to the left," was believed to reference Beyoncé's hit Irreplaceable, sparking rumors of tension between the two. Hilson never directly confirmed the diss, but the speculation alone seemed to put her at odds with Beyoncé's massive fan base and possibly powerful figures in the music industry. Things worsened when Hilson reportedly refused to hold a Juice magazine issue featuring Beyoncé. That moment went viral, and backlash against her intensified. Soon after, her music career stalled. Despite her talent and songwriting success, she stopped releasing albums after No Boys Allowed. Hilson later admitted in interviews that industry politics played a role in her stepping away, though she denied that Beyoncé personally blocked her career. Regardless, many fans believe the controversy made her a target for blacklisting, pushing her out of the spotlight. While she has hinted at a musical comeback, her absence from mainstream R&B remains one of the most talked about industry mysteries. Number 6. Adina Howard. Adina Howard burst onto the R&B scene in the mid-1990s with her hit single, Freak Like Me. Her confident image and raw lyrics set her apart, making her a rising star. However, behind the scenes, industry politics and personal conflicts led to her sudden disappearance from mainstream music. Howard was signed to Elektra Records, and after her debut album, Do You Want to Ride?, became a success, she was expected to continue her momentum. However, her outspoken personality reportedly led to clashes with executives. The breaking point came when she got into a dispute with the label head Sylvia Rhone. Some sources claim Howard criticized Rhone's handling of her career, which allegedly resulted in her sophomore album, Welcome to Fantasy Island, being shelved indefinitely. At the time, the music industry was still hesitant about women openly expressing their gender. While male artists could be provocative without consequence, female artists like Howard faced backlash. The combination of industry politics and her refusal to conform led to her being quietly pushed out of the spotlight. Number 7. Deborah Cox. Deborah Cox was once a rising star in R&B, known for her powerful vocals and emotional ballads. She first gained attention in the mid-1990s, signing with Arista Records under Clive Davis. Her 1998 hit, Nobody's Supposed to Be Here, became a massive success, spending 14 weeks at number 1 on the Billboard R&B chart, a record at the time. The song made her a household name, and she followed up with other hits like We Can't Be Friends and Sentimental. However, as the music industry shifted in the early 2000s, Cox found herself struggling to maintain mainstream success. R&B began leaning heavily into hip-hop influences, favoring club beats over traditional vocal-driven ballads. Labels prioritized artists who fit this new trend, leaving powerhouse vocalists like Cox with fewer opportunities. Despite her undeniable talent, radio stations played her songs less frequently, and major labels didn't push her music the same way they once did. By the mid-2000s, Cox transitioned to Broadway, starring in Aida, and later playing Whitney Houston's role in the Bodyguard musical. She also found success in the dance music scene, where her voice was still celebrated. Though the mainstream R&B world moved on, Deborah Cox's legacy remains strong. She continues to tour, record music, and inspire new generations of singers with her unmatched vocal ability. Next star on our list was well known for her 2002 hit, No Other Person But number 8, Tweet. Tweet, the smooth-voiced R&B singer best known for her 2002 hit, Oops, Oh My, seemed destined for long-term success. Her debut album, Southern Hummingbird, showcased her sultry vocals and unique style, earning her a loyal fan base. However, despite her early success, Tweet's career took a sudden downturn, largely due to industry politics and personal struggles. After Southern Hummingbird, she attempted a follow-up with It's Me Again in 2005. While the album had strong tracks, including collaborations with Missy Elliott, it failed to match the success of her debut. Behind the scenes, Tweet faced label issues that stalled her momentum. The music industry was shifting, and her label, Elektra Records, merged with Atlantic, leaving many artists, including her, without proper promotion. Frustrated with the industry, Tweet took a step back, struggling with depression and financial issues. She eventually moved away from the spotlight, focusing on her faith and personal growth. For years, fans wondered if she would ever return to music. Tweet made a comeback in 2016 with Charlene, a deeply personal album named after her real name, Charlene Keys. While critically praised, the project didn't receive mainstream support, making it difficult for her to reclaim her former status. Despite her undeniable talent, industry politics and long absences kept her from reaching her full potential. Number 9. Ashanti. Ashanti was once one of the biggest names in R&B, dominating the early 2000s with hit songs like Foolish, Rock With You, and Happy. She was the first female artist to achieve a #1 debut album on the Billboard 200, selling over 500,000 copies in its first week. However, her career took a serious hit after the downfall of her record label, Murder Inc. And Murder Inc., led by Irv Gotti, was at the center of a federal investigation in the mid-2000s. The label faced accusations of money laundering due to alleged ties with Powder Kingpin Kenneth Supreme McGriff. While Gotti and his team were ultimately acquitted, the legal battles damaged the label's reputation. Many industry insiders began distancing themselves from Murder Inc., which affected Ashanti's career as well. At the same time, the music industry was shifting. R&B was evolving, and newer artists like Beyoncé and Rihanna were dominating the charts. With Murder Inc.'s influence fading, Ashanti struggled to maintain the same level of success. Her later albums, including The Declaration, didn't receive the same major label push or radio airplay. Although she continued releasing music independently, Ashanti never fully reclaimed her early 2000s dominance. However, she remains a respected figure in R&B and has since focused on acting, business ventures, and nostalgic performances celebrating her legacy. Some of these artists you see were officially banned, while others fell victim to industry politics, changing trends, or scandals. Let's dive deeper. So the next R&B star on our list is number 10, Jaheim. Jaheim was once a rising star in R&B, known for his deep, soulful voice and emotional lyrics. His 2002 hit, Put That Woman First, became an anthem for appreciating and respecting women, earning him a loyal fan base. Throughout the early 2000s, Jaheim released multiple successful albums, such as Ghetto Love and Still Ghetto, which showcased his raw talent and heartfelt storytelling. However, as the years went on, Jaheim's presence in the music industry started to fade. Part of this decline was due to legal troubles that overshadowed his career. In 2021, he was arrested and charged with animal cruelty after authorities found over a dozen dogs in poor condition at his New Jersey home. This incident shocked fans and further damaged his reputation. Beyond legal issues, Jaheim also displayed erratic behavior that raised concern. His social media activity became unpredictable, with rants that often confused and worried his followers. Some believed he was struggling with personal issues, while others speculated that the music industry had turned its back on him. Despite his talent, Jaheim never fully recovered his position in R&B. He continued to release music independently, but without the support of a major label, his work received little attention. While some fans still celebrate his contributions to the genre, his legal troubles and unpredictable behavior made it difficult for him to maintain his once promising career. Number 11, Lloyd. Lloyd was once considered one of R&B's brightest rising stars. With his smooth vocals and signature braids, he gained attention in the mid-2000s with hits like You featuring Lil Wayne and Get It Shawty. His blend of soulful melodies and hip-hop infused beats made him stand out in a competitive industry. However, despite his promising start, Lloyd's career began to stall due to label issues. He was originally signed to Irv Gotti's Murder Inc. Records, but after the label faced legal troubles and lost its stronghold in the industry, Lloyd sought a new home for his music. In 2009, he signed with Zone 4 Interscope, hoping to regain momentum. Though he released his album King of Hearts in 2011, which featured Dedication to My Ex, Miss That, it failed to reach the commercial success of his previous work. Behind the scenes, Lloyd struggled with inconsistent label support, which led to delays and missed opportunities. He later revealed that industry politics and creative differences left him feeling frustrated. After parting ways with major labels, he took a step back from music to focus on personal growth. Though he eventually made a return with independent projects, the mainstream industry had already moved on, favoring new sounds and artists. While Lloyd remains respected among R&B fans, his career never quite reached the superstar status many once predicted for him. Next up was known for her hit after rumors surfaced that she dissed Beyoncé in a remix. No other person but number 12, Carrie Hilson. Carrie Hilson was known for her smooth vocals and songwriting skills. Before stepping into the spotlight as a singer, she wrote hits for major artists like Britney Spears, Ciara, and Usher. When she launched her solo career, her 2009 album, In a Perfect World, produced hits like Knock You Down and Turnin' Me On, making her one of the most promising voices in R&B. However, her career took a major hit after rumors surfaced that she dissed Beyoncé in a remix of Turnin' Me On. The lyrics seemed to call out an unnamed female artist who needed to sit down and had been overrated for years. Many fans interpreted this as a jab at Beyoncé, and the Bayhive, Beyoncé's loyal fan base, did not take it lightly. The backlash was swift and brutal. Though Hilson denied any intentional shade, her reputation in the industry took a serious blow. She faced relentless online attacks, industry figures distanced themselves, and her career momentum slowed. Her 2010 follow-up album, No Boys Allowed, underperformed, and after that, she largely disappeared from music. For years, Hilson remained silent about her struggles, but in later interviews, she admitted that industry pressure and personal issues played a role in her retreat. Though she has hinted at making a comeback, she has yet to regain her former success. Whether it was truly the Beyoncé controversy or deeper industry politics, Carrie Hilson's career never recovered from the fallout. Number 13, Jay Holiday. Jay Holiday burst onto the R&B scene in the mid-2000s with his breakout hit, Bed. The sultry slow jam, released in 2007, quickly climbed the charts, reaching number 5 on the Billboard Hot 100 and number 1 on the R&B chart. His debut album, Back of My Lack, also performed well, earning him a Grammy nomination and solidifying him as a rising star. With his smooth vocals and romantic ballads, many believed Jay Holiday was poised to become the next big name in R&B. However, despite his early success, his career soon stalled. His second album, Round 2, failed to match the impact of his debut, and tensions between Jay Holiday and his record label, Capitol Records, began to surface. He later accused the industry of prioritizing certain artists over raw talent, suggesting that major labels were more interested in marketability than musical ability. As R&B began to shift toward a more hip-hop influenced sound, Jay Holiday struggled to adapt. His third album, Guilty Conscience, was released independently, but failed to gain traction. He attempted a comeback with Time in 2022, but by then, the industry had largely moved on. While he occasionally makes headlines for outspoken comments about today's R&B scene, Jay Holiday never regained the momentum he had with Bed. Despite his undeniable talent, industry politics and changing musical trends left him behind. Up next was known for his hits I Don't Wanna Know, which reached number 2 on the Billboard Hot 100. Number 14, Mario Winans. Mario Winans was once a major name in R&B, best known for his 2004 hit, I Don't Wanna Know. The song, which sampled Enya's Boadicea and featured P. Diddy, became a massive success, reaching number 2 on the Billboard Hot 100. The track's emotional lyrics and smooth production made it one of the biggest R&B songs of the early 2000s. Before his solo success, Winans was already a respected figure in the industry. Coming from a legendary gospel family, the Winans, he had music in his blood. He worked behind the scenes as a producer and songwriter for top artists like Mary J. Blige, Destiny's Child, and the Notorious B.I.G. His talent earned him a spot at Diddy's Bad Boy Records, where he released his second album, Hurt No More. Despite his breakthrough, Mario Winans never managed to follow up with another major hit. A combination of industry politics and the slow decline of Bad Boy Records hurt his career. As the label lost influence, many of its artists struggled to stay relevant, including Winans. His personal life also faced turmoil. In 2022, he was arrested for failing to pay over $400,000 in child support, adding legal trouble to his struggles. Over the years, he continued working in music, but mostly behind the scenes. Unlike some R&B artists who transitioned to independence, Winans faded from the mainstream spotlight. Today, his name is mostly tied to I Don't Wanna Know, a song that remains a nostalgic classic. While he still has talent, his industry presence has never recovered. Number 15, Jon B. Jon B was one of the few white artists who made a name for himself in the R&B world during the 1990s. With his smooth vocals and soulful delivery, he quickly gained respect in a genre dominated by black artists. His debut album, Bonafide, featured the hit single Someone to Love, a duet with Babyface that helped establish him as a serious R&B contender. His follow-up album, Cool Relax, solidified his success with hits like They Don't Know and Are You Still Down, featuring Tupac Shakur. Despite his talent and early success, Jon B's career started to decline in the early 2000s as the music industry shifted. R&B was evolving, with a heavier focus on hip-hop influenced sounds and younger, emerging artists. Labels were prioritizing a new generation of performers, making it harder for him to stay relevant. Additionally, John B. faced challenges with his record label, which limited his ability to promote his music effectively. As mainstream R&B moved toward a more digital and auto-tuned sound, John B.'s classic smooth style became less commercially viable. Though he continued making music independently, he struggled to gain the same level of exposure he once had. Despite his lower profile, he remains a respected figure in R&B, with a dedicated fan base that still appreciates his timeless hits. Up next on our list of R&B star is Carl Thomas. Number 16. Carl Thomas. Carl Thomas was once one of the most promising voices in R&B, known for his smooth delivery and heartfelt lyrics. He rose to fame in the late 1990s after signing with Bad Boy Records, the label founded by Sean Diddy Combs. His debut album, Emotional, was a massive success, featuring hit singles like I Wish and Summer Rain. His blend of soulful melodies and deep storytelling quickly made him a fan favorite, earning him a solid place in the R&B scene. However, despite his initial success, Carl Thomas's career took a downward turn as Bad Boy Records began to decline. The label, once a dominant force in hip-hop and R&B, struggled after the early 2000s due to internal conflicts, shifting music trends, and the loss of key artists. Without strong label support, Thomas found it harder to maintain his mainstream presence. Personal tragedy also played a role in his career slowdown. In 2004, his brother was tragically killed in a drive-by shooting. The loss deeply affected Thomas, leading him to take a break from music to grieve and regroup. During this time, the R&B landscape changed dramatically, with newer artists and different sounds taking over the charts. Although he released a second album, Let's Talk About It, it failed to match the success of his debut. By the time he dropped So Much Better, his presence in the industry had significantly diminished. The decline of Bad Boy Records meant less promotion, and without the strong push he had early in his career, his music didn't reach the same level of commercial success. Despite his struggles, Carl Thomas has continued making music, occasionally releasing new projects and performing for his loyal fan base. While he may not be at the top of the R&B world like he once was, his contributions to the genre remain respected. His smooth vocals and classic hits still resonate with fans, proving that his talent never faded. Only his industry backing did. Number 17. Genuine. Genuine was one of the biggest names in R&B during the late 1990s and early 2000s. With his smooth vocals, charismatic stage presence, and undeniable charm, he quickly became a star. His debut album, Genuine, The Bachelor, introduced the world to Pony, a Timbaland-produced track that became an instant classic. The song's infectious beat and seductive lyrics made it a staple at clubs and parties for years to come. Throughout the late 90s and early 20s, Genuine continued to dominate the R&B charts. Hits like Differences, So Anxious, and In Those Jeans solidified his status as one of the most talented artists of his era. His collaborations with Timbaland created a signature futuristic sound that set him apart from other R&B singers. He also formed friendships with fellow artists like Aaliyah, Missy Elliott, and Static Major, helping shape the sound of R&B at the time. However, as the 2000s progressed, the music industry began to shift. R&B started blending more with hip-hop and electronic sounds, and auto-tune heavy production became the norm. Meanwhile, Genuine's style remained rooted in classic, soulful R&B, making it harder for him to compete with the newer wave of artists. His career also took a hit due to changes in the music business. With record labels restructuring and streaming platforms changing how people consume music, Genuine struggled to adapt. Though he continued releasing albums like Back to the Basics and A Man's Thoughts, they didn't achieve the same level of commercial success as his earlier work. Despite the decline in mainstream popularity, Genuine never stopped performing. He became a sought-after act for nostalgia-driven tours, often joining fellow R&B legends like Tank and Tyrese for TGT. their short-lived supergroup. He also participated in reality TV, appearing on Celebrity Big Brother UK in 2018, which introduced him to a new audience. While his music may not top the charts anymore, Ginuwine remains a respected figure in R&B. His legacy is undeniable, and his influence can still be heard in today's artists who aim to bring back the classic 90s R&B sound. Up next on the list was well known in the late 90s and 20s. Number 18. Donald Jones. Donald Jones was one of the most promising R&B artists of the late 1990s and early 2000s. With his smooth vocals, heartfelt lyrics, and signature laid-back style, he created timeless hits that still resonate with fans today. Songs like Where I Wanna Be, You Know What's Up, and Knocks Me Off My Feet solidified his place in R&B history. Jones's breakthrough came in 1999 with his second album, Where I Wanna Be, which went platinum and featured some of his biggest tracks. His ability to blend traditional R&B with hip-hop influences made him a standout artist. He continued his success with Life Goes On, which included hits like You Know That I Love You. However, despite his talent and strong fan base, his presence in the mainstream music industry gradually faded. One of the biggest reasons for his decline was his decision to step away from the spotlight. Unlike many artists who actively chase commercial success, Jones prioritized his personal life and creative freedom over industry expectations. He took long breaks between albums, making it difficult to maintain momentum in a fast-changing music landscape. Additionally, the shift in the R&B genre played a role in his disappearance from the mainstream. As the 2000s progressed, R&B started blending more with electronic and pop influences, moving away from the classic, soul-driven sound that Jones specialized in. The industry's preference for younger, trendier artists made it even harder for him to reclaim his earlier success. Number 19. Amiri. Amiri was once one of R&B's biggest stars. With her 2005 hit One Thing, she delivered a fresh, energetic sound that stood out from the era's typical slow jams. The track, built on a funky go-go beat, dominated the charts and even landed on major film soundtracks. Her album Touch was a success, and it seemed like Amiri was on track for a long, successful career. However, behind the scenes, label issues began to stall her momentum. Amiri had been signed to Columbia Records, but after creative differences and a lack of promotional support, she left the label. She then moved to Def Jam, hoping for a fresh start, but her career continued to struggle. Her music was often delayed, poorly marketed, or overshadowed by other artists on the roster. Her 2007 album Because I Love It was critically praised, but failed commercially in the U.S. due to limited distribution. By the time she released In Love and War in 2009, the industry had shifted, and Amiri struggled to regain mainstream attention. Despite her talent, label politics and industry changes made it difficult for her to thrive. She eventually stepped away from music, focusing on writing and other creative ventures. Though she still releases independent music occasionally, the mainstream success she once had never returned. Amiri remains a respected figure in R&B, but her career serves as an example of how industry politics can derail even the most promising artists. The last R&B star on our list was once a Grammy Award winner in 2003. Number 20. Maya. Maya was once a dominant force in R&B, rising to fame in the late 1990s with hits like It's All About Me, Case of the X, and My Love Is Like. Whoa! Her smooth vocals, dynamic dance moves, and ability to blend R&B with pop made her a standout star. She also collaborated with industry giants like Christina Aguilera, Pink, Lil' Kim, and Missy Elliott on Lady Marmalade, which became a global smash. However, despite her success, Mia's mainstream career took a sharp decline due to conflicts with her record label. She was originally signed to Interscope, but after years of delays and creative differences, she parted ways with the label in the mid-2000s. In 2007, she attempted a comeback with Liberation, but the album was shelved in the U.S. due to distribution issues, further pushing her away from the mainstream spotlight. Rather than rely on major labels, Mia took control of her career and transitioned into the independent scene. She began releasing music under her own label, Planet 9, allowing her full creative freedom. While she no longer dominated the charts, she gained a dedicated fan base and continued dropping albums like Smooth Jones and The Knockout. Despite her industry struggles, Mia remained active, performing, acting, and even winning a Grammy in 2003. Though she's not as visible as before, her career shift allowed her to maintain longevity on her own terms. To uncover more intriguing stories among Hollywood celebrities, don't forget to hit subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. What if I told you that some of the most well-known and successful R&B artists have also been among the most hated in the history of the genre? From the most iconic R&B artist, Shaffer Kimiri Smith, whose career and public image was ruined by issues pertaining to his private life, to Trey Songz, who was accused of assault and other violent situations. Here are 20 most hated artists in R&B history. Number 1. Robert Sylvester Kelly. R. Kelly is well known for hits like Bump and Grind, Ignition, and I Believe I Can Fly. He had a significant influence on the R&B genre in the 1990s and 2000s, helping to shape the sound of contemporary R&B. In the early 2000s, an illicit tape allegedly showing R. Kelly having affairs with a minor girl surfaced, sparking his first significant legal dispute. Due to insufficient evidence, Kelly was exonerated of all charges in 2008 after denying the allegations. The 2019 documentary, Surviving R. Kelly, raised awareness of the numerous claims of assault made against him. Women who said they had been abused by Kelly, including survivors of alleged manipulation and cult-like conduct, were interviewed for the documentary. R. Kelly was arrested in 2019 on allegations of abuse of minors, racketeering, and trafficking. His claimed actions were frequently characterized as predatory, and there were accounts of him controlling the lives of young women by excluding them from the outside world and limiting their contact with their families. Kelly was found guilty on several counts of trafficking and child abuse in 2021. He was found guilty of racketeering and trafficking after a trial that received extensive media coverage. For decades, he was also accused of mistreating women. After years of court cases and public protest, he was found guilty in the Eastern District of New York, severely damaging his once glistening reputation. Kelly was sentenced to 30 years in jail for his offenses as of 2022. Kelly's legacy has left many former admirers feeling torn. Some want to distance the musician from his crimes, while others think that his behavior should discredit any admiration for his music. Number 2. Chris Brown. With the release of his self-titled first album in the mid-2000s, Chris became well known thanks to songs like Run It and Yo, Excuse Me Miss. When Chris Brown violently attacked his then-girlfriend Rihanna on February 8, 2009, it was the most notorious event in his career. Images of Rihanna's battered face went viral after the attack, which took place the night before the Grammy Awards, igniting outrage. Brown was taken into custody and accused of felony assault. After entering a guilty plea to felony assault, he received a sentence that included community service, probation, and therapy on domestic abuse. His career was severely harmed by this occurrence, and his reputation was severely damaged. Although Rihanna and Brown eventually made up for a short time, the attack has nevertheless damaged his reputation. Following the Rihanna incident, Chris Brown experienced a number of legal issues as well as public criticism. Among the many fights he was a part of was a well-known one with Drake in 2012, which took place in a New York City nightclub. He got into a confrontation with police in 2016 after they were called to his home after a lady accused him of assault. Although the episode concluded amicably, it further damaged his already damaged reputation. Chris Brown and social media have had a turbulent relationship. He has regularly made contentious and controversial posts on social media sites like Instagram and Twitter. He has been known to get into arguments with other famous people, such as Drake, Soulja Boy, and his ex-girlfriend, Karrueche Tran. These conflicts frequently unfold in public, drawing further criticism and attention to his actions. Over the years, Chris Brown has made an effort to improve his reputation. He has expressed regret for the hurt he caused, especially to Rihanna, and publicly apologized for his previous behavior. But according to a number of critics, his actions have persisted, and some people still see him as a bad boy in the industry, which hinders his ability to completely repair his reputation. Number 3. Tremaine Alden Neverson. Trey Songz originally became well known because of his breakthrough track Gotta Go from his debut album, I Gotta Make It. With the release of albums like Trey Day and Ready, which had hits like Say Ah and I Need a Girl, he continued on building on his success. A lady named Amy accused him in 2020 of abusing her during a party in 2016, claiming that he pushed himself on her. There has been much discussion about the matter, and legal action is still ongoing. Similar claims that Songz had acted in a non-consensual manner have been made by other women. Despite his denials and lack of criminal charges, the accusations were sufficient to keep his name in the public eye for all the wrong reasons. Accusations of assault are not the only violent situations and altercations in which Trey Songz has been accused. He has a reputation for being irritable and has been accused of physical violence against people in a variety of contexts. Songz was arrested for trespassing and resisting arrest in 2016 after he got into a fight with police at a Kansas City Chiefs playoff game. He was expelled from the event after allegedly throwing a microphone and getting into a physical altercation with security. On social media, Trey Songz has frequently become involved in arguments, especially with other celebrities. His public encounters with celebrities like Drake and Chris Brown have drawn media attention, frequently drawing notice to his unprofessional conduct. His online persona has drawn criticism for being perceived as immature or conceited, and supporters as well as critics have responded negatively to his outbursts. It will be interesting to see if he can completely restore his reputation, or if his history will continue to taint him. Number 4. Tyrese Gibson. Tyrese's 1998 breakthrough track Sweet Lady made him well known and hit the R&B charts. Following the song's success, his first album, Tyrese, helped make him a rising star in the R&B industry. Tyrese is well known for posting emotional and occasionally contentious content on social media, particularly Instagram, where he frequently provides updates about his life and his own thoughts. The public has responded to this with both acclaim and criticism. Tyrese's social media rivalry with fellow Fast and Furious star Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson made him notorious in 2017. Tyrese accused The Rock of postponing the release of the next Fast and Furious movie by openly criticizing his spin-off film, Hobbs and Shaw. The two celebrities got into a heated and highly public argument as a result, and Tyrese eventually apologized after receiving a lot of media attention. His emotional outbursts, some of which have touched on private concerns like his daughter and family troubles, have also drawn criticism. He has been accused of being manipulative or attention-seeking due to his excessive social media activity. Tyrese was involved in a highly public custody dispute with his daughter Shayla in 2017. Tyrese claimed that Norma Gibson, his ex-wife, attempted to deny him visiting rights after accusing him of being abusive. His personal life came under public scrutiny when the argument unfolded on social media. Tyrese's tearful posts during this time, which included videos of him crying in front of the camera, drew both pity and contempt. Some questioned Tyrese's stability and his capacity to continue a professional career as a result of the custody dispute and his inconsistent social media activity. Tyrese has already been sued by his former business partner, and he has been involved in court battles that have damaged his reputation in some quarters. His commercial activities caused a public backlash in one of the biggest financial conflicts. Tyrese's co-star in the Fast and Furious series, Ludacris, is among the numerous celebrities with whom he has had disputes. During the franchise's filming, the two had a significant argument, but it was ultimately settled. Tyrese, however, frequently gets into arguments with co-workers because of his tendency to voice his complaints. There are differing views of his attitude and conduct in the industry as a result of his public remarks about other celebrities and his feuds with superstars such as The Rock. Number 5. Marques Houston. As a member of the R&B group Immature, later known as IMX, he initially achieved significant fame. With singles like Never Lie and We Got It from their multiple albums, the group, which was founded in the early 1990s, played a big role in the R&B scene of the decade. R&B fans were Houston's primary audience, and he frequently addressed themes of intimacy, love, and relationships in his songs. Even though he was successful, his music career never achieved the same degree of widespread prominence as that of some of his peers. The marriage between Marques Houston and Mia Dickey, who is 20 years younger than him, became the focus of intense public debate. Mia was 19 and Marques was 38 when they were married in 2020. There were questions about the age gap and the timing of their relationship, especially since Marques had known Mia since she was a young girl and she had been a member of his church. The ethical and moral implications of their relationship were questioned by a number of followers and adversaries. Marques defended the union, saying that their bond went beyond simple physical desire and that they had known one another for years. He said that their bond was based on respect for one another and faith. The public's opinion was split, nevertheless, with many people worried about the large age difference, particularly in light of Marques Houston's function as a mentor to Mia prior to their personal relationship. Marques Houston has occasionally drawn criticism for his public remarks and social media presence on his marriage, particularly when he has defended it or reacted defensively to criticism. Next up is another artist whose career and public image are complicated by the controversies surrounding his personal life. Number 6. Shaffer Kimire Smith. Smith's songwriting skills first brought him widespread recognition in the middle of the 2000s. When he wrote Let Me Love You for Mario in 2004, it became a huge hit and helped make Nayo a major player in R&B music. It was his breakthrough moment as a writer. Nayo continued to be one of the top R&B musicians by releasing a number of albums over the years, such as Year of the Gentleman, R.E.D., and Nonfiction. The media has focused on Nayo's personal life, especially his relationship with his two children's mother, Monyetta Shaw. Before splitting up in 2013, the couple had been together for a number of years. When Nayo later disclosed that Shaw had voluntarily undertaken a sterilization operation at his request, which was meant to prevent further pregnancies after they decided they were done having children, the already messy breakup became even more publicized. Fans and Shaw herself reacted negatively to Nayo's choice to openly discuss this private issue in interviews and media. In addition, Nayo's 2016 marriage to Crystal Renee has come under investigation. They have a son and a daughter together, although they have had problems in their relationship, including rumors of public adultery. Nayo's remarks regarding gender norms and women's empowerment have also drawn criticism. He gained popularity in 2015 when he proposed that men shouldn't be expected to handle every household chore and that women should play the role of the wife in their marriages. Many people swiftly condemned him, seeing his remarks as out of date and misogynistic. Nayo later apologized for any misunderstanding and stated that his remarks had been taken out of context. His opinions on gender equality were nevertheless called into question by the occurrence. Number 7. Aubrey Drake Graham. Drake shot to fame in 2009 with the release of his third mixtape, So Far Gone. The breakthrough tracks Best I Ever Had and Successful from the mixtape became anthems and demonstrated his distinctive use of catchy hooks and reflective lyrics. With albums like Thank Me Later, Take Care, Nothing Was the Same, and Views, Drake's career took off in the years that followed. With multiple chart-topping songs, each album was a commercial triumph. In 2015, Drake and Meek Mill got into one of his most notorious feuds. Meek accused Drake of hiring a ghostwriter to create some of his songs, which sparked the feud. The rivalry was made worse by Drake's release of the diss singles Charged Up and Back to Back, the latter of which became an enormous hit. Many fans took sides in the feud, which attracted a lot of media attention and discussion within the hip-hop community. The feud eventually ended when Meek Mill acknowledged that his charges were based on rumors. Drake had a child with Sophie Brousseau, a French artist and former adult film actress, according to Pusha T's 2018 diss track. Despite Drake's prior denials of childbearing rumors, the disclosure aroused tremendous media attention. Drake eventually acknowledged his son Adonis and expressed regret for the secrecy surrounding his personal life in the song Emotionless off his 2018 album Scorpion, which validated the suspicions. Drake has been accused of cultural appropriation since he regularly mixes genres and incorporates many ethnic influences, particularly in his use of Afrobeat and Caribbean rhythms. Critics claim that he occasionally appropriates ideas from other civilizations without properly recognizing them or granting credit to their artists. The success of his track One Dance was one instance of this, since some fans believed he was taking advantage of dancehall and Afrobeat music without fully appreciating its origins. Number 8. Keyshia Cole. Keyshia Cole is renowned for her ability to express unfiltered emotion via her music and for having a soulful voice. Her songs frequently deal with themes of heartbreak, empowerment, and self-discovery, and she combines classic R&B with modern sounds. She is regarded as one of the most prominent voices in mid-2000s R&B, and her impact can be seen in the careers of numerous R&B singers that came after her. Fans still adore songs like Love, I Should Have Cheated, and Heaven Sent, which are mainstays of her catalog. An ongoing source of controversy and public attention has been Keyshia Cole's relationship with her family. In her music and reality shows, she frequently discussed her challenging childhood and her tense relationships with her biological mother and other family members. She had an especially contentious relationship with her mother, Frankie Lons. Due to Frankie's battle with substance misuse, their complex relationship was widely visible in both music and reality TV. The drama surrounding Keyshia's personal life was further compounded by her well-publicized relationship to her biological father, which included prolonged phases of loneliness and reunion. Keyshia has had a number of public conflicts with critics and the media, mostly centered on her music and personal life. She has occasionally had disagreements with critics who have questioned her personal choices or the course of her career. Despite her openness and vulnerability, certain critics have also called attention to instances in which she seemed unduly defensive or responded badly to unfavorable news. Fans and media outlets frequently argued about her sincerity and how she balanced her personal and professional lives, which resulted in a fairly contentious public image. Number 9. Fantasia Barrino. Fantasia has frequently drawn inspiration for her music from her own struggles throughout her life. Early in her career, she had to cope with family issues, drop out of high school, and become a single mother at a young age. Her relationship with Antoine Cook, a married man with whom Fantasia had a well-publicized romance, was one of the most well-documented difficulties. After the affair caused a big controversy, Fantasia talked about it and said it was one of the worst times in her life. Fantasia's personal problems reached a breaking point in 2010 when she made an attempt on her life. This came after the consequences of her affair and the scrutiny she received from the public. Later, Fantasia discussed the situation in public, admitting that she required assistance and expressed regret for her decisions. The event marked a turning point in her life, and her music mirrored this, with songs like I Feel Beautiful and Bittersweet, delving into themes of healing, self-love, and resiliency. She has occasionally had a tense relationship with the media, with certain publications concentrating more on her personal problems than her musical accomplishments. Fantasia has, nevertheless, remained close to her fan base, who respect her for being open and strong. Fantasia's body image has drawn criticism and scrutiny, especially following notable weight changes. She has shared her journey with admirers on social media, being candid about her battles with self-esteem and weight loss. Despite the criticism she occasionally gets for her looks, Fantasia has always underlined the value of body positivity and self-acceptance. She has also advocated for others to embrace themselves in spite of social pressures by using her position. Number 10. August Alsina. August Alsina's music combines hip-hop, soul, and R&B in a style that appeals to both rap and R&B fans. He is well known for his deep, raspy voice and his composition's ability to portray unadulterated passion. His songs frequently touch on issues of mental health, self-doubt, love, heartbreak, and personal hardships. His lyrics are renowned for being unabashedly honest, and many of his songs have the feel of personal confessions. August's sound can vary from lively, trap-influenced tunes to emotionally intense ballads. He has a special talent for combining vulnerability and sensuality in a way that appeals to listeners. The public has frequently been interested in August Alsina's private life. He was the focus of media attention in 2020 because of his suspected involvement in a contentious relationship with actress Jada Pinkett Smith, which he openly acknowledged in an interview with Angela Yee on The Breakfast Club. He said that while Jada was married to actor Will Smith, he had an affair with her. This sparked a lot of public attention and media debate. The issue was extensively covered by the media, and Jada Pinkett Smith eventually acknowledged the relationship in an episode of her Red Table Talk series. August persisted in concentrating on his music and personal development in spite of the controversy. Number 11. El DeBarge. Together with his siblings, El DeBarge founded the family group DeBarge in the early years of the 1980s. Before attracting the notice of Motown Records, the group first performed locally in Michigan, before signing a record deal in 1981. DeBarge's seamless blend of pop, soul, and R&B sounds made them well known, with a focus on their intricate arrangements and vocal harmonies. El, who led the band, became known for their distinctive falsetto voice. The group was a powerhouse in the industry because of their early releases, such as the DeBarge album, but their second album, All This Love, was what really made them famous. El DeBarge struggled both personally and professionally throughout his career, but his issues with substance addiction were the most notable. In the late 1990s and early 2000s, he took a break from the music industry due to his substance misuse issues. El continued to play a significant role in the music industry and eventually returned, despite the difficulties he had encountered. In addition to being widely reported in the media, his hardships let his admirers relate to him on a personal level. Many of them were impressed by his fortitude and commitment to his art. Number 12. Bobby Brown. Bobby Brown's 1988 album Don't Be Cruel went on to become one of his most popular and significant albums. The record, which was heavily influenced by Terry Lewis and Jimmy Jam, fused pop, R&B, and new jack swing in novel ways. The album had a number of huge successes, including My Prerogative, Every Little Step, and Ronnie, all of which reached the top of the charts and made Bobby a household name. My Prerogative is still one of Bobby's establishing songs and became a hymn of freedom and self-assurance. He helped reshape the perception of R&B stars at the time with his audacious, brazen, and rebellious approach in both his music and public presence. Midway through the 1990s, Bobby Brown's career began to deteriorate as a result of his growing personal issues, which included substance misuse, legal issues, and the increased scrutiny surrounding his marriage to Whitney Houston. Particularly in the tabloid media, his tumultuous relationship with Houston, who was also dealing with her own problems, gained media attention. A roller coaster of public attention resulted from the couple's ups and downs, making Bobby a controversial figure. His music career started to be overshadowed by his substance use, legal troubles, and unpredictable conduct. Bobby continues to have a significant impact on the R&B community and the music industry in spite of these problems. Number 13, Lil Mo. When Lil Mo appeared on Ja Rule's popular song I Cry in 2000, it was her big break and increased her profile in the music industry. Her unique voice and style, which combined R&B and hip-hop, attracted both fans and other musicians. Her first album, based on a true story, was published in 2001 and had songs including Superwoman Pete, 2, and Taillights. She became known as one of the most promising R&B singers of her era as a result of the album. Lil Mo has been involved in a number of public altercations with other artists and celebrities. She is well known for her unrestrained behavior, which frequently results in arguments and conflicts on social media with old friends and co-workers. She has had conflicts with other artists, including Fabulous and K. Michelle. These arguments, which are frequently discussed in the media or on social media, have shaped her contentious public persona. Additionally, the media has focused on Lil Mo's private life. Her often erratic public persona has been influenced by her openness regarding her marriages and divorces. Her reputation as a harsh, outspoken person has been greatly influenced by her relationships and personal hardships. Although she has had several marriages and has kids, her private life has also been characterized by public drama, such as her relationship with her ex-husband, which attracted significant media attention. Next artist is often regarded as one of the greatest R&B artists of his generation. Number 14, Usher Raymond IV. Usher's ability to blend pop, hip-hop, and R&B in a style that appeals to a broad audience, as well as his sweet falsetto, are widely known. Unquestionably, he has influenced modern pop and R&B music, and he has opened the door for other contemporary musicians that fuse these genres. The media has regularly reported about Usher's private life. After a very publicized and bitter divorce in 2009, he was married to Tameka Foster in 2007. From that marriage, he had 2 kids. Later, in 2015, he married Grace Miguel, with whom he had a well-publicized relationship. Nevertheless, they split up in 2018. Due to claims of illicit misconduct and STD publicity, Usher has been the subject of public scrutiny and legal concerns. Several women sued him in 2017, alleging that he had unintentionally exposed them to herpes. The accusations have been denied by Usher. Even though these problems have damaged Usher's reputation, he is still a major player in the music industry. In spite of the difficulties, his reputation as a gifted artist has mostly overshadowed them. Number 15, Michael Stevenson. Tyga's first studio album, No Introduction, was released in 2008. He didn't achieve widespread acclaim until his second album. The track Coconut Juice by TYGA, which featured Travie McCoy, became a commercial hit. After that, he released Bedrock with the Young Money Collective, which solidified his place in the rap industry. The public has frequently been interested in Tyga's private life. Because of his widely reported relationships, he became a tabloid figure. At the age of 17, he was involved with Kylie Jenner, a reality TV star and member of the Kardashian-Jenner family, which earned a lot of media attention and criticism. Some admirers and opponents believe that his credibility has been damaged by his financial difficulties, legal disputes, and persistent bankruptcy rumors. His public disputes with well-known performers like Drake and Lil Wayne further damaged his reputation and gave the impression that he was challenging to deal with. In the music industry, Tyga has become a contentious figure due to his frequently graphic and misogynistic songs, especially among fans who support more positive portrayals of women in rap and hip-hop. Number 16. Azealia Banks. In a number of instances, Banks' remarks were judged to be homophobic or racially offensive. One of the most prominent scandals was in 2016, when Banks used Twitter to make remarks toward the LGBTQ+ community. She called a gay journalist a faggot and that she was being unfairly singled out by the media. She received harsh criticism for her words and lack of empathy, and the backlash was immediate. In 2016, Banks and Zayn Malik got into another well-publicized argument on social media. Following Banks' racist tweet in which he referred to Zayn as a curry-scented beacon, the incident sparked significant indignation. The dispute swiftly became heated as she accused the British singer of stealing her style. She was again heavily chastised for her remarks, and Zayn and his supporters blasted her for them. Banks and Cardi B engaged in a social media abuse exchange in 2018. Cardi, according to Banks, is inauthentic and has benefited from the industry's push despite lacking skill. Cardi criticized Banks for her actions and defended her career during their unpleasant back and forth. Even though the feud ended, it strengthened Azealia's already assertive image. In the music industry, Banks has a reputation for being challenging to work with. Conflicts with producers, record labels, and other musicians have frequently resulted from her vocal temperament and readiness to speak out against perceived injustices. She has been dismissed from record deals and has had trouble landing collaborations with prominent musicians or labels as a result of her public outbursts and feuds. Number 17. Howard Earl Bailey Jr. The conflict between Chingy and Ludacris was one of the biggest scandals he encountered. The two musicians had a falling out about 2004, despite Chingy's early success with Ludacris's label, Disturbing the Peace. Following the release of his second album, Chingy quit the label and joined Capitol Records. Their tense relationship was the subject of several publications, some of which implied that Chingy believed his career wasn't being adequately handled by Ludacris' label. Since Ludacris and Chingy have never publicly made up, it is believed that their breakup contributed to Chingy's career taking a different route. While Chingy's popularity started to decline when he left the company, Ludacris would go on to achieve even greater success. Controversy has also surrounded Chingy's private life. His alleged involvement in a gay controversy that came to light in 2004 was one of the more prominent instances. Daryl Johnson, a guy, accused Chingy of having a covert relationship, which Chingy denied in public. This incident was one of the most talked about disputes of his day, although it did not appear to have a lasting effect on his career. Number 18. Sierra Princess Harris. The media paid close attention to Kiara's relationship with Future, the father of her son, Future Zahir Wilburn, particularly following their well-publicized split in 2014. Later, Future accused her of keeping him from seeing their child in interviews and songs. As a result, the two got into a public argument that hurt Kiara's reputation for a period. The story changed to focus on Sierra after she started dating, and eventually married Russell Wilson following her split from Future. Because of their portrayal as a perfect couple and their dedication to family, the couple's relationship has received a lot of media attention. Wynn Harrison Wilson and Future Zahir Wilburn are their two children together. Both sides got into arguments on social media as a result of their public fight with Future. which attracted a lot of media attention and hurt Kiara's reputation. Many people believe she was involved in a toxic relationship with her ex, and her personal life became the subject of rumors. Kiara's skill as a songwriter has been called into question by some fans and critics, who claim that a large portion of her songs were extensively ghostwritten. As a result, she was accused of lacking the authenticity of other musicians who penned their own songs. Ciara's performances and dancing skills have frequently drawn comparisons to Beyoncé. Despite having a unique style, some fans and media outlets have criticized Kiara for being perceived as a lesser version of Beyoncé. Number 19. Robyn Rihanna Fenty. One of the most well-known relationships in pop culture was that of Rihanna and Chris Brown, although it was also marred by a domestic abuse incident in 2009. Before the Grammy Awards, Chris Brown attacked Rihanna, which drew a lot of media attention. When Rihanna later made amends with Chris Brown, those who had been profoundly impacted by his abuse of her grew angry. Some felt that she didn't set a strong enough example about violence and victimization, even though she quit the relationship in the end. Conservative audiences despise Rihanna because they feel she provides a poor example for young people with her risque performances, illicit images, and daring dress choices. Significant criticism has been directed at her frequent nudity in music videos and picture shoots, as well as her open acceptance of her gender. Many people think Rihanna is sometimes immature or petty because she has been involved in a number of public arguments. Some people think she is being overly aggressive or argumentative, whether it's arguing with other celebrities or criticizing the media. Rihanna's usage of African and Caribbean inspirations in her music, style, and public presence has led to charges of cultural appropriation. She is defended by many as a product of her Barbados heritage, but some believe she misrepresents or exploits some aspects of her culture for profit. Number 20. Keke Wyatt. Keke has been quite transparent about her relationship issues and personal life. Due to her multiple marriages and public divorces, she has received a lot of media attention and scrutiny. She and Michael Ford had a particularly tense marriage that ended in divorce in 2017, with drama and abuse allegations making headlines. Keke Wyatt's social media presence has often been a topic of dispute. Fans who feel she overshares or is too forthcoming about her private life have occasionally reacted negatively to her disclosures of intimate relationship details. There have also been instances where Keke's remarks and posts on social media have provoked debates regarding her opinions on particular topics, resulting in public arguments and censure. Keke has publicly argued with various celebrities throughout her career, especially in the R&B and reality TV genres. Her contentious public image is further enhanced by these feuds, which frequently take place on social media. She has a somewhat R&B diva image because of her conflicts with other singers, such as Keisha Cole, who is also renowned for her fiery attitude. Keke Wyatt's appearances on reality TV, especially the R&B Divas Atlanta series, have gained her recognition in recent years. She was described as having a fiery personality and an ardent approach to confrontation during her turbulent time on the show, which caused viewers to become confused. She also had disagreements with other cast members during her time on the show, some of which received a lot of attention and criticism on social media and other platforms. To uncover more intriguing stories among Hollywood celebrities, don't forget to hit subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.